Alright, hello and welcome to a new kind of, or I shouldn't say new, but another React video. This is going to be a little interesting. Um, I actually did one of these last week for a couple of different things. Unfortunately, a week or two ago, sorry. Unfortunately, the way that I recorded it, I couldn't edit it, and I had too many flubs in there that it just wasn't. Even though I do admit that my standard quality on the reaction videos is a bit lower, at least for right now, it was still below my acceptable quality. So ended up not doing anything with it, which is both unfortunate and not unfortunate, depending. Um, so the first two things I had done last time, which are actually ironically the same they were doing today, which was unplanned, um, was the original, or is it the gameplay reveal for City Skylines 2, and just the teaser like announcement trailer for Star Trek Infinite. Um, Now I'm recording this on Tuesday the 20th. On Friday the 16th, they did a full reveal for the actual gameplay on the new Star Trek game called Star Trek Infinite. I still have not watched that. I actually went to Duke City Comic Con over the weekend, and doing that actually helped me be busy. And I actually would have preferred to do this closer to Friday, Saturday. But because of those, I wasn't able to, and I was busy enough and occupied enough that I wasn't able to spoil it for myself quite yet. Um, and then I just didn't get around to it yesterday, Monday. I apologize. So here we are again. It is Tuesday. Um, what's funny is yesterday on Monday they actually did a feature highlight for City Skylines 2 regarding the roads tools, which are actually I'm very looking forward to. If I'm able to do that, that was one of the things that I was reacting to was the fact that those things exist now, which is looking really cool. I've also seen a couple just YouTube video titles that say like it's or it was either title or a post somewhere. I thought it was a title. That said something along the lines of they're incorporating like 8 mods from base Skylines into just base Skylines 2 now, which would be really cool. If that's the case, that definitely Colossal Order is definitely somebody I can see doing that. Um, to a degree, they've done content creator packs for City Skylines, so you can go and like they actually found a modder, someone who like made proper assets, and then specifically asked them, "Hey, can you come make these? We'll sell them and give you money." So that was something that was really cool that they did. So I can kind of see them doing that, incorporating a mod. It's probably worth noting. I doubt that they're incorporating the mods specifically. Like they just went up and went ooh mod into game, but more of they went. That's something that we should have in the base game, and it shouldn't just be something that you just have to do after the fact. So I should, that's my thing too. Is I'm pretty sure this was just a case of them listening to feedback, which is something that Console Order has been really good at doing, of listening to the community and keeping the community up to date in general with what's going on. So it's in spirit of again that listening to the community feedback that I can see them adding these mods in, not as like a Bethesda go fix it yourself kind of thing. It's a case of that should be something we put into the base game. So that's something. So that's something that looks like they're doing. So this will be a two-part reaction. I have not seen either of these particular videos. Thinking of the City Skylines one this year, the feature highlights. Like I said, I saw a couple titles here and there. Just over the course of doing day-to-day things, my Google feed does like to bring things up like that. Um, Thankfully, apparently, it's just so unused to Star Trek games that it doesn't pull that one through. And I don't think it's figured out I like City Skylines 2 yet, so it hasn't pulled that many of them through. But just a couple passive gaming type ones did come through. So let's go ahead and get started. Actually, there's going to be a bit of a cut here. I apologize. I'm still learning the software. Um, I have noticed that my internet disconnected out of nowhere, so I got to get that fixed up. Back in hopefully a moment. And we're back. Everything looks good, so we should be all good to go. Quick note, just something that might happen. I noticed it happened in the recording before. This video is shot, or this video is on YouTube as a 4K video. However, you might see some weird artifacting. I apologize, not quite sure what causes it. It just kind of happens. So, without further ado, let's get here, starting with City Skylines and the road tools. This video is just over 3 minutes long, and then we'll move into Star Trek Infinite, which I know almost nothing about, and I'll actually give some detail when we get closer to that about part of why I wanted to do this as a video, um, without looking into it yet. So, let's get going.
The roads crisscrossing your city are more than a means of transport. By connecting citizens to their work,
Actually, I'm going to pause it for a second here just because there's already actually something I do want to look at, and I'm going to do some minor analyzing as part of this. I'm nowhere near an expert by any means. This is simply going to go off of how I play cities, um, which will be vast different from the way that probably most people do. Um, so that's the one thing I do want to call out right away is um, the way that the roads themselves look. This looks like just the graphic quality of this is already so much superior, so much better. Is such so superior to words. It's better than City Skylines itself right now, which is not an important part to a city builder game. Don't be wrong, graphics are not the most important thing. The most important thing, holy shit. Sorry, I'll explain what I just saw in a second. Um, the most important thing for a city builder is the mechanics and the way that it goes. Graphics are always great, but less of a concern in my eyes. The thing that I just holy shitted about is I just realized what's happening at this intersection. There are two rows that are going underneath, and then you have an intersection. You have hopefully it's come through. I think it looks like it should come through decently well. If you're on a somewhere screen, I'm sorry, it's gonna be harder to see. I'll do my little control find thing to help as much as I can. But looking at this intersection right here, so these two underneath roads are, or these two roads are going underneath, which it looks like, which is something that City Skylines can do already. City Skylines does have underground roads. There's a buddy of mine who fucking loves them, and I hate when he just has sprawling, completely just. Well, it didn't show very well, but just. Oh, I hate how he does his undergrounds. He's gotten better, so I can't bitch as much, but still, something I fucking hate what he does. If he's watching, he knows who he is. Um, the other thing that I'm noticing here, though, is this connector already. The biggest thing for me is how close these are. Something that's gonna be it's something that you can technically do in Skylines now, but it gets really hard. Something else I'm noticing is the way that these lines are done, which I really am happy about. That's not something that it does now. So that's kind of a really cool thing to see for me. Is the fact that these lines are lining up better. Pun not intended.
families, and communities, they are the veins and arteries of your city's beating heart.
This kind of intersection looks interesting, and I'm curious how this is made. Um, Also, if you can't tell, this is a trolley line, which is not surprising. It already exists. That's why, again, I'm not super. Oh my god, this exists. Besides, I don't like those. Just it feels too cluttery for me. In the way that I do my cities. Um, you never know if I did them actually might look better. Just to be completely fair and honest. Also, I just noticed something else over here. So, looking here, there's a chance you can control parking by default, and that's gonna be amazing. Something I have to do constantly is like I don't like these bigger roads where you have like I use these big roads as major thoroughfares. I don't like them being used as residential type streets, or ones where you park on the side where you and actually like you have to parallel park when you're downtown kind of thing. Just no, I don't like that. So if I'm right, and it's hard to tell at the moment, if you can control how that works though, that'll be amazing. I'm also curious. Oh, I noticed that's a 70 probably kilometer because the cost order I believe is French. I could be wrong, but they're at least European. Yeah, last I knew. Um, it's 70 kilometers per hour. My brain doesn't know kilometers per hour. I'm sorry, I'm American. Uh, freedom units all the way. For those who don't know, yes, that's a complete and total joke. Um, One second while I do a quick conversion though, because I do want to get this part right, or more accurately, we ask Google. Convert 70 kilometers per hour to miles per hour.
70,
About 43, 43, 45, give or take. Okay, then if that's the case, then that's actually not a bad speed. I'm looking at this and going, American eyes are going 70 miles an hour in that small little stretch. Jeebus. Um, but yeah, this crossing looks really interesting. Um, with current cities, I don't think that's something you could do without a mod to this degree. So this is really cool. Just looking at it, like I said, it might seem really stupid as some of the things I'm gonna be happy about. I totally understand that. Um, and I apologize if it does come out that way. But enjoying looking ahead of the game and hoping it to be as good as these slick videos are making it look to be.
Every pathway you carve out shapes the routine every day and opens the door to.
I also kind of like how these lanes are done. This is probably just done for visual cues and such, so you can kind of see how things are. I'm interested to know one of the most popular mods that exists on City Skylines right now is Traffic Manager President Edition (TMPE), and it has a feature that lets you connect these roads the way that you want them to connect with the lanes. That way, you make sure it's a way that I use it to make sure, like for this one right here, that this lane would only go into this lane. If you don't control it, then they could turn it into any of these three lanes. With the current way that City Skylines proper, or the first City Skylines is set up. So if I'm right and this shows like the paths that they'll take in 2 and you can control them better, I'll be really happy.
To the extraordinary events that define their lives. City.
Ooh, we're gonna go back for just a few frames here. And I muted it by mistake. Fix that now. The fact that this parking lot is actually kind of full is also making me really happy. City Skylines until very, very recently did not have parking lots at all. And some of the buildings would have parking lots and they would get sort of used, but the main thing you'd see is um, citizens that are still just parking on the side of the street, even if it's, a mile, 10 miles away, they'll park on the side of the street over there and then walk over to their destination. Um, so if this is something that's gonna be more used, I'll be very happy. Because I'm one of those that doesn't like on-street parking. I see another one down here, which is again really nice to see.
Building starts with roads. Roads allow people, goods, and services to move through your city, of course. And in City Skylines 2, all roads except for highways automatically carries water, electricity, and sewage lines.
Okay, so that was right. This was something that I did see this as something that we thought was coming, or I shouldn't say we. When I say we, this is the community slash other articles I did read about just the launch trailer and what we saw in there. Um, so this is interesting, and I'm a little torn on this. So this is a feature that was, from what I understand, it was introduced in SimCity 2013 with a flop that unfortunately killed Maxis, which is why I'm actually very happy about City Skylines existing and it being as good as it is. Um, so in City Sky, or in sorry, in SimCity, gone are the utility pipelines and stuff like that, and it just connects to the roads. City Skylines went back to the SimCity 4 method of you have to draw out your water pipes and you have to have your electricity lines, stuff like that. Unless like if there's a building close by, then it'll auto hop, and if it's within a certain area with a certain radius, the buildings carry it themselves. Um, but for longer distances, you would need power lines and such. And on the one hand, I don't know how I feel about it. It makes it easier, which is nicer and more convenient. Don't get me wrong, but at the same time, that's part of the thing in managing out building your pipeline system. On the other hand, there is holy shit! I just saw how much money they're losing. Crap, train of thought. Sorry, that I see right here where they're losing 175,000 240 per. I'm assuming hour. This one looks like it's more of an hourly one, which is something weird that Skylines did. That it was done by week. I never liked it, but it didn't really change anything, so whatever. Um, but again, yeah, this is the same way that SimCity works. Um, it doesn't have proper highways, so that was never an issue, and I'm okay with that. Overall, I don't know how um most cities do it. know, of course, you have like your separate power lines or water lines, stuff like that. What I don't know is if the water lines generally also follow the roadways or not. I don't think they do, but I could very be wrong about that. I'm not a city planner. I just enjoy playing city planner games.
It's a shortcut that lets you focus on what you love about city building sooner. You'll construct and refine your road network using road tools. They're easy to learn and flexible, inviting you to follow your creative impulses. Returning players will welcome upgrades to the road tools that introduce several of the most wished for features. Other features are totally new. Use the road tools to create seamless city blocks in.
This makes me so goddamn happy. You have no idea. Like you literally have no idea how happy this makes me. I'm guilty. I definitely build city grid. I definitely build a grid style. Um, Having this shortcut is amazing.
In just 3 clicks. In no time, you'll lay long, beautiful stretches of road to link lively residential and industrial districts to your buzzing city center. Just like that, you'll thread traffic along wide, curving.
I'm noticing some popping at the bottom here. I don't know why I'm pointing at the damn screen. I'm noticing some popping at the bottom here, which I'm mixed about. On the one hand, like I said earlier, graphics aren't that important. Um, and especially with the city builder, if you're with how far this is letting you zoom out, um, I would, you definitely hope that it can run on some older things. I've also seen though the requirements, like the recommended specs that are listed on Steam are more. No, sorry, they're not more. My equipment is more, but not by much. And I have relatively high end stuff. I swear I'm not trying to brag, obviously, but like just for comparison, um, the minimum requirements I think were in i7, or sorry, recommended requirements, which means to run it at recommended setting, which probably isn't even, which probably just medium or high. I think like the ultra setting will probably tax my hardware, and I have a 11th gen i9. Yeah, I have an 11th gen i9 processor that's probably going to get taxed by this thing. I have a 3070 Ti that'll probably get taxed by this damn thing. Um, which is again, I have my feelings about. The minimum requirements are pretty high up there too, which does worry me for like my laptop struggles to play this thing, which I would sometimes just don't tell my boss. I haven't done it in quite a while, but in one of my older roles at the place I work at now, I would play City Skylines on. I would just have it running on my laptop, where I would just let it run and kind of glance at it here and there and add to it if I was needing taking a little break from whatever work I was doing. Um, City Skylines itself barely runs on this thing, so two won't run at all at this rate, which is again, for what it's worth, my laptop that I have isn't a clunker. I got it in 2020. I got it new at the time. It has an 8th gen i5 in it, either 8 or 10. I'm forgetting off the top of my head now. I want to say 8. It should be an 8th gen i5. It has its own discrete graphics card, although it's a 1650 and it's a mobile version of it. So of course it does come with some limitations, but I don't think this thing will be able to run 2, and that's just beyond the fact that my personal circumstance of not being able to do it on the side for work kind of thing um, worries me more for just other players that don't have the money to upgrade. I recognize that I'm in a very privileged spot. I don't get money from anything I've done here, which is disappointing, but not the end of the world. I have, but the fact that I live in a cost, I have a cost of living that's lower than most people. Um, Being single helps a lot there too. All I have to worry about is Apollo, and he's expensive for food, but that's a $30-ish purchase every month or two. every month and a month and a half or so. 60 if I go 60 can get me a bit longer with one of the bigger bags of dog food. That's really all I have to worry about spending on him. So again, I recognize I'm in a very privileged spot, and being in that privileged spot and worrying about my hardware being able to handle it, worrying about other people that don't have the power luxuries that I do, where they aren't able to spend as much as I can spend. Even I don't want to say on a whim. I do have to plan out my stuff still too. Um, getting like I'm still. I think I'm still technically paying off some of my components from almost a year ago. Actually, from about a year ago. I think I'm still paying some of those things off um, on credit. So again, I do recognize my privilege of being able to do more than many people can. I shouldn't say most, but many people can, and I'm worried about how my stuff's going to perform. So that's actually something I'm very conscious of and very concerned about. That being said, I don't from my position of relative privilege, I'm looking forward to being able to run this thing on relatively high settings and being able to see it look really nice like this. It definitely looks, it definitely looks less like cities itself doesn't even look bad. It's just really cartoony, which is fine for most city builders. This one still looks cartoony, but less. I don't know how to describe it. I like how it looks. Is the short version of that though.
Streets and elegant elevated highways. You'll even
Oh
have
God.
wide,
Oh, I
urban
saw
streets and
that in the
elegant
back is
elevated
distracting now
highways.
that I see it.
You'll even add bridges and tunnels in only a few clicks.
That design's pretty cool. I'm
Elegant
not one. I
elevated
prefer.
highways. You'll
I don't like my bridges to have all this ornamentation on it. The fact that these do is really cool. I think it's something I like to see. I don't think we're gonna see it, but it'd be really cool to see is if they have like drawbridges you can put over things like this. Again, I don't expect it to be a thing, but it'd be cool if it is. Also, if that's one of the new hospital buildings, I really like that.
even add bridges and tunnels in only a few clicks. Intersections have been overhauled in City Skylines too. Placement rules are less restrictive, and you can use pre-made intersections on new and existing roads. You can also add roundabouts. Yep, they're here.
I don't care about roundabouts, but every like my little happy dance on the fact that they're less restrictive is really helpful too, because that was a major issue with Skylines One, is just how restrictive it can be for doing intersections like that. Some of it's understandable, some of it's not. Well, I should say not. Some of it's understandable. Some of it was just one of those things like they just grr. Like there's an intersection here in Albuquerque that would be almost impossible to replicate properly on Skylines. But Skylines 2, if those rules are less restrictive, there's a much better chance I can make it. It's a spaghetti intersection, but that kind of thing happens, especially when you get really busy areas in the virtual games,
From
virtual
gentle
world.
suburban roundabouts to roaring multi-lane roundabouts, it's never been easier to engineer uninterrupted streams of traffic. That's because roads will be configured automatically, so vehicles can enter and exit the roundabout safely. Simply drop your preferred roundabout over an existing intersection, and ta-da! A
Interesting.
whole new way to move people, goods, and services through your city. Decide the direction of traffic and how it flows by placing traffic lights, crosswalks, and
Nice.
directional no-turn traffic signs and stop signs. Erect sound barriers.
That was one of the biggest issues that uh, traffic manager solved was not being able to restrict traffic flow in certain ways to be more realistic. Like if you would want a case of, especially for intersections, um, there would be an issue. There could be a common issue of um, like if I want to have where traffic only like this, if we're basically where the intersection. One second, let me do this. I'm gonna turn the thing off for just a second. So I don't dox myself here. All right. Now, fancy thing. Why Google why? Ah, there it goes. Now let me that one let me do fancy. Saying that one let me do before. Okay. Uh, so this intersection here is a real intersection here in Albuquerque, and this is actually a perfect example here. So you have this lane coming off the freeway. It expands into 3 lanes here actually. First 2, then 3, and then this third lane veers off. Now in Skyline, and then this one comes here, and this is only a left turn, not a right. You could technically do it if you really wanted to, but it's not designed for that because that's what this is for. And this is the better one anyway. So in Skylines, making a thing like this is virtually, actually I take back. Making something like this is impossible without mods. Track Manager, because if when you do something like this, then it creates a full intersection here that will then one you can make it you couldn't make it this smooth, and I don't know if that's something you still can do. It looks like you might be able to, but you wouldn't be able to do it this smooth. And then it would create a stop where you could then where it would then automatically, like vanilla, would let you go left and then right from here, and then you put this one here to let you go left and then right again from here. The new tools that they're introducing though prevent that, and that makes me very happy actually. Didn't need to do that, but here we are.
Barriers and construct parking lots. That's another new feature in City Skyline 2. And for returning players, it means Christmas has come early. You can even add decorative touches if you want to. They don't just make your city pretty, they can be useful too. So those
That's
trees
cool.
you use to line sidewalks add charm and reduce noise pollution. Of course, building a city is a process of exploration and experimentation. You'll try stuff out. Some of it you'll like, and some you won't. Want to change an existing road? Use the new replace tool.
Ooh, I like that already. That just the replace tool is interesting. I would just consider it like the old upgrade tool, but I really like the way that this new lane thing is handled. Stupid, I know, but that's something that bothered me to no end in Skylines One.
It's like the old upgrade tool, but with more freedom to refine your road network. Change your mind about a road? Bulldoze tool to the rescue. Click, 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 and that road is a thing of the past. Road building is more intuitive and
Also, these new models look kind of nice actually too, even though they're very simplistic. City Builder, you're not focusing on the people proper. Like you want to see them gathering, but you don't really. It's just a backtrack. More variety than this would be appreciated, but I'm not going to judge it based on its little people that you're really not going to see unless you're zoomed in like this.
nuanced in City Skylines 2, and every pathway has a far reaching impact. Build your city's roads as a testament to your ambition and a promise to citizens that anything is possible.
Nice. All right. When I get that money for this, I'm going to pre it. All right. So that concludes our preview here of City Skylines 2. Um, again, I hadn't seen any of this yet. I had seen some speculation on one of the little on that feature about the way power and utilities would connect to the roads. Someone noticed that with a little things. I kind of noticed it too, but I wasn't sure exactly what that was. So the other article was like, this looks like it might be that. The next thing I'm looking forward to that we saw in articles that I missed in the trailer is ploppable or is expandable buildings. So in City Skylines, which is actually another one that's taken from SimCity 2013. In City Skylines, if you want to upgrade a power, if you want to add more power, you just have to plop another power plant, which and it can take up its whole big massive footprint, etc. so forth. In SimCity 2013, most ploppable items can be expanded. So you plop down a oil power plant. But you need more power, add another engine onto the same one for I think the entire thing costs like 160,000 give or take. Pop another generator for 20,000 instead. Less expensive. still get to the benefit of having more power and is still scalable, and it keeps it in that one little area, which is one of the bigger things too. For me, I like trying to keep things, especially power, in one spot. My hope is that the free agents then are going to be better. That the way that power distributes can be better in Skylines than it is in SimCity. SimCity never fixed that. Um, so I'm looking forward to that, which looks like it's coming, and I'm going to be very happy that that's the case. And I think like hospital, just add another patient wing, add another little ambulance if that's what it lets you do, and increase your reach that way. And yeah, so again, so that's been City Skylines. I'm gonna keep the video going, but we're gonna do a little break here into Star Trek Infinite. So let's get that going. Uh, all right, so this is the gameplay reveal trailer. Um, Ironically enough, and this is why I wanted to do the video, the same publisher behind City Skylines, Paradox, is the same publisher behind Infinite. Different devs. Colossal Order is doing City Skylines, while something with a J, I think. We'll see in a second. Is doing Star Trek Infinite here. The big thing that I know Paradox for outside of cities is Stellaris, or Stellaris. It's probably pronounced one way or the other, which I describe as civilization times 10. It's very overwhelming. I tried playing it once and just kind of went like, just nope and noped out. I have it, and but if I'm not mistaken, it's considered a grand strategy versus a 4X like Civ, just because of how epic in scope it's supposed to be. So let's see what this 1 minute video tells us about Star Trek Infinite. Nimble Giant is the name. Uh, I'm I'm worried this is a mobile game. Just looking at these graphics, though, this looks too mobile-y. Dear God, that looks mobile-y. But oops. You know, we're gonna point out is so this looks like you have your planet, you build a starbase or you have a starbase, and then this looks like some kind of outpost of some kind, which it'll be interesting. As long as it's not a mobile game, I won't complain about the graphics too much, but these graphics are way too mobile gamey, and Star Trek has had in the last 14 years. Star Trek really only had a very small handful of games come out. I think 5 or 6 without. I'll probably count them in a moment here as I actually go through them. Um, yeah, we're gonna do that. The 2009 Star Trek movie tie-in. I think it was either 2009 or Into Darkness. Either way, that counts. So there's that. There's the Kelvin Timeline movie tie-in. Then there's Bridge Crew, which was a VR gimmick. It was fun for a little bit. A little less fun if you're not in VR, but if you're in VR, it's even a little bit more fun, and the gimmick lasts a bit longer. And Star Trek Online. Those three are the big ones. And then on top of that, you have Fleet Command, and you have Timelines in I think reverse order, um, which are both mobile gotcha games. Like they're just gotcha games. Oh shit! I just realized I haven't turned the view back on. Sorry about that. We'll go back to the beginning here just to we didn't get that far into the video, thankfully. So again, Nimble Giant is the developer here. This is when I was complaining about the graphics looking like mobile. Um, and then this is the planet and the starbase. And then that would some kind of probably resource collector of some kind, probably an energy collector. We might guess. We'll find out if it. We'll find out at some point, hopefully. This is where I paused at last. Again, these are the ones that give me really big mobile vibes. Like even STO looks better than this. Survey, survey system, or enter orbit. That gives me hope that it might be a bigger game. Also, I like the reference they're doing here. Rura Penthe is the Klingon uh, penal colony.
We are establishing communications with another sentient species in accordance with the Prime Directive.
Ooh, dialogue. Non-player empire. Interesting. Which is giving me Cities vibes, which is actually good. Again, Cities slash Stellaris vibes, which is good. Really mention President. I'm interested. I don't like the responses here. At least not completely. The first one, "We're pleased to meet you," is great. The "Galaxy is a dangerous place" is also fine. That middle one is bothering me. The intercoms are so impersonal. Could be a thing of, hey, intercoms are impersonal. Glad to meet you. Let's meet in person, kind of thing. I can totally see that being a not bad thing. But this has it listed as a negative, as a middling ground almost, which I don't like. I don't like the mission tree because it's doing the nostalgia bait crap again, and I don't like that. If it was build a Galaxy class ship, I'd be less annoyed. Um, if it was being diplomatic in general, again, wouldn't complain. But the fact that these are specifically next gen characters, and why are we? Oh God, we're going with season one Worf. Why are we going with season one Worf? Actually, first half of season one Worf. On top of that, that bothers me. Right, there's a mouse cursor, which makes me kind of happy. At least this won't. This isn't a mobile. May not be a mobile first game, which I'm very hopeful of. This is a shipyard queue where you're building a science ship, a construction ship, a colony ship, and a bird of prey, which would be a military ship. And I see those icons. I'm interested. I'm very interested. It looks like this is built next to Kronos. I don't actually this is Kronos 2. I don't actually know the solar system of non-Homeworld very well, but this is interesting. Pleasantly surprised at how well this looks. Um, if it's just a case of they're doing the more cartoony look because it's almost like City Builder, where it's, or even like Civ, where graphics are less important than what's actually going on, then my bitching will stop, or at least reduce. But it just scared the shit out of me that it looked like a mobile game. But looking at this, I'm seeing a lot more Civ in this, which technically did go to mobile as well, but it's not a mobile first game for the most part. It's a PC it's a desktop first game, arguably PC, but I'm gonna say desktop because it does have Linux and Mac distributions. Um, I just got a lot more hopeful about this. Something that was intentional. Okay, good. This is a bunch of Cardassian ships. Excellent. I saw what looked like DS9, and I had to make sure this wasn't a Federation thing, and it's not. Martial Empire, non-player Empire. I'm hoping that non-player in this case simply means that they're just AI for the sake of the video. It's better be multiplayer.
Positions revealed.
Interesting. And whoops, wrong thing. Um, for those who don't know, I very much enjoy looking at like airline and aviation things. That's what this particular channel is. It's really cool. I recommend. All right. So that was Star Trek Infinite. Cautiously optimistic to learn more. I just realized, did we get a release date? I don't think we did. We just have a wish list now, kind of thing here. Yeah, there's nothing else here. Glancing at through the thing here. There's nothing referring to this one yet. Interesting. I'm reading some of the comments here, just kind of glancing for anything else, and I'm going to actually going to read a couple. Actually, let's go ahead and look at a couple of these because I am interested enough in these. Uh, so speaking of Stellaris, this commenter says that it looks like Stellaris's planets and UI. UI I agree with to a degree. I'm guilty though. I haven't really seen much, so I can't comment too much. Involves some of the Stellaris Star Trek Total Conversion. I'm assuming that because Stellaris is probably old enough, there's probably it looks. I'm guessing there are definitely modders that have made it into a Star Trek game, which it seems ripe for. And then I kind of like this one. This is kind of fun. I don't know why I can't do the few more on this one, but this is also fair. Is how they Cardassians already made it into a major power that can stand toe to toe, but they're not. Um, so yeah, it's so interesting how this is gonna work. It definitely shows potential. I'm really hopeful for what may come out of this. Ooh, pardon me. So again, yeah, I am very hopeful for what could come out of this. And yeah, so that's everything for now. If things work correctly, and I don't think they will because it's already getting a bit late, um, there should be upwards of 3 video uploads in the next couple days at this point. Ideally, it was going to be both in the one same day, but at this point, we're probably going to go to a couple different days now. Um, First, it'll be this reaction video here for everything. Again, thank you for joining. I do appreciate it. Um, Please, if you have this is mostly on YouTube, of course, do the YouTube things. Um, and if things go correctly, there will also be a new video coming up soon for Heroes Hideaway, which is a collaborative channel I'm doing with a buddy here. This will be the first non-school assignment video. This was something he started as a school assignment, but we want to actually continue as an actual channel. So this will be the first non-school assignment video on the channel, if things work correctly, and then also we'll be doing, or I'll be doing something on Genesism Talk. I will admit though, that one is the one I care the least about at the moment. The Talk channel is something where for me to be able to go and just talk about anything I want to talk about. I probably keep reactions on this channel. Anything gaming related will be here. That's gonna be more for spicy hot take stuff that people may not want to see, and I very much understand that. It also will be a chance to do a different kind of video though, and more stand-up video. Like I actually have a little place. I'm gonna use the garage for this for right now. At least for the Hero Hideaway one that I really get done. We haven't put anything out in like a month, and we want to show that we do want to actually continue that channel. So there's that. Um, until then, live long and prosper. Hope to see you soon. You can always follow me on Twitter, where I do actually post a few things that aren't just gaming related stuff, um, that aren't just channel related updates. I actually use Twitter a bit more than I probably should there. Even then, it's not by much. But again, you can follow me there. Link is here. Well, not link, but username is here. It's Genesis with an underscore. If you want to direct anybody else to the YouTube channel, it is also Genesis with an underscore. And you can always find other links in the description below. Again, live long and prosper, and hopefully see you soon.